This episode is brought to you in part by California Print Co. Go to them for all your silk screening and embroidery needs.
Through all the things I've had to see, visions of the pods to be, the moral limits are unseen, and now it all seems clear to me that arguing is painless. It brings a little changes, and I can do it with whomever I please.
Fuck you, no you can't, only with me.
Hello and welcome to the Moral Limits. I'm your host, Stewart Keller, and with me is my co-host, Jesus Sandoval. And we just watched The Wolf of Wall Street, which is...
An amazing film that fuck me for not watching it sooner.
Yes, fuck you for not watching it. That's what I've been saying for the last 3 goddamn years.
We're like 15 seconds in, I'm already out of water. Oh, this is gonna be a long podcast. Shit. Whatever. I want to talk about this movie because holy shit, it is such a morally... No, I was about to say morally gray. Complete bullshit. It's a morally black movie. Everyone in this movie is a fucking terrible person. Save for maybe the detective. But around the end, he gets a little gray where he realizes that maybe he should have taken that money. You know?
No. He looks at it. He made his decision.
Alright, like, he looks like he's gonna live with the decision he made, but he looks like there will always be a speck of doubt. Just like the fact that he could have been a broker.
In the scene, when he says, "Do you think about it?" He says, "Yes, of course, anyone would think about it." But he doesn't regret it.
Alright, fair enough. Point being, every character in this movie, save for characters that don't get much screen time and you aren't supposed to care too much about, are terrible people. Awful human beings.
Absolutely.
Well, I won't say that because, although she didn't get much screen time either. Leonardo DiCaprio's first wife, pretty okay person. She didn't do anything. Actually, she was a good person. She didn't do anything wrong.
The biggest thing that I had against her was she is all right with Leonardo DiCaprio attacking the rich people, right? She's all right with him duping the rich people.
No, she wasn't okay with it.
Yeah, she was.
She was just...
She said, why don't you do that to the rich people who can afford to lose?
Oh, okay.
That is some democratic, liberal thinking.
Okay, I can see... I don't think it's right. I don't think what Leo is doing, he should be doing to anyone.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
But on a scale, it would be better to do it to people who can afford to lose that money.
Everything is comparative, but that doesn't mean it's right.
I know, and I completely agree with you. I don't think it's right that anyone gets duped that way. Right? Well...
I mean...
Okay, like, it's weird because I want to see the motherfucker from Switzerland get duped because I hate him.
Oh, sure, but we're talking about rich people. There's nothing wrong with a rich person.
There's nothing inherently wrong with a rich person.
Absolutely.
Just like there's nothing inherently wrong with any person.
Absolutely.
It is all in the actions they take. Everyone in this movie is a terrible person. All the rich people in this movie are terrible people.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean all rich people are terrible.
Absolutely.
Which is why I agree with you on this. On the not what they were doing was not right.
Yeah.
And the idea of doing it to rich people instead is also not right.
Yeah.
But comparatively, it is more right than doing it to a poor man who has everything to lose. All right, as long as we're on the same page there.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask your opinion on autobiographies.
Right.
Something that you write about yourself. What are your feelings on that?
It's very biased. Like, it's so easy to paint a different picture.
But is painting a different picture a bad thing?
Okay, it depends what your end goal with that autobiography is. If your end goal is to just tell a compelling story, no. You gotta change stuff because not everything.
Isn't that the entire point of telling stories, to be compelling?
Not always.
Did
O.J. Simpson write his book to tell a compelling story? Or did he just want to gloat to everyone that he got away with it?
That's what this guy did.
The book. Have you read the book?
No, I haven't read either book. Have you read either book?
No.
Fuck you.
That's why, because like he didn't direct the movie.
No, but I'm talking about the book.
Right, and I'm sure there are differences between the book and this movie.
Sure, of course.
So like the intent of this movie was to tell a good story. Maybe part of it was
I
to
really
brag,
liked the visuals more in the movie than I did the book. And the audio was tight.
I mean, I liked Leo's face a lot more than I did in anything in that book.
Same.
But I should say the cover because I've never read it. But maybe one day if I have the time.
What books have you read? Like, do you read many books, Jesus?
Yeah, I read, but I don't read as much as I do other shit. So I can't call myself a reader because that would imply that I find time to read. It's just if I have free time, caught up on all the anime I want to watch, and I don't have a movie on hand with a DVD player, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I can find a book on the internet. It's not that hard.
As far as mediums go, I would say music probably the most because it's always on in the car. It's always on when you're doing remedial
I thought you were
shit.
going quality. I was
No.
so much shit. No. Like how much you consume.
Exactly.
Right.
Precisely.
Right.
Good wording. And then movies.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, I've basically seen all the major movies this summer.
No, not all.
I mean, Jason Bourne.
I mean, I watched Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Ghostbusters is, I think, the one I missed, the major one.
And you're not missing much, to be honest.
Of course I'm not.
It's not a good movie. I don't know what everyone's raving about. Or is that a
one,
bad word?
No one was raving.
What's the opposite of raving?
Scathing.
Huh.
Opposite of raving is...
Is raving a good thing?
Yeah.
It is a good
They're like,
thing.
oh my god, this thing's amazing. Which people,
Yeah, then I was right.
People were not doing that.
Critics were like,
70s,
yeah, it's a good movie.
70s. They're like, yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, have you, like, YouTube critics? They love it.
No.
Especially Digibro's brother.
Okay, well, he's a fucking dumbass. But here's the thing.
Oh, man.
The general consensus for, like, the 20 people I watched their YouTube videos for was, like, it's alright. It's nothing like as good as the original. And
I don't think it's anywhere near the original.
absolutely. But everyone just said it was alright.
It's better than the second one. The second one's a piece of shit.
I have not seen that second one in, like, the longest time. Longer than I've seen Forrest Gump.
Wow.
Yeah.
So over 11 years.
Yeah, and I've seen the first one like 100 times in
That
recent
movie's
years.
amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I even went and saw it in theaters. Like, that was awesome.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds great.
Yes. But, autobiographies.
Right. But, like, it's all in the intent. Because if your intent is not to tell a compelling story, and you just want to brag, and you change things, well, then you're not doing anyone a favor.
Yeah.
You're just making yourself look better. It's like, there's no way that the director of this movie could have known that the cop would have a speck of doubt or look around the
There's
bus.
no way
or a
James
subway.
Cameron could have known that any of the people on the Titanic could have done any of the things that they did in those moments, for sure.
Right.
So there you go. I mean, that's just part of making a story up. But
well,
we're not talking
the
about
stuff involved with, like, Leo died.
Leo wasn't a real person, and neither was Rose. The people around them were real. Well, based on. But here's the thing. So I'm going to insert it into the podcast. The
Right.
speech that you gave at my Eagle Photo honor. So we can.
Are you really?
Yes. So we can fucking reference that. Because that.
Or is this one of those things you say you're gonna do and then you never do?
What the fuck haven't I done?
Like watching Digibro's videos, which you didn't do. So my 90 still stands. Actually, it got a little higher. Just hit the 91 because of a recent video he posted, which was absolutely amazing. Great work on his part. But not the point. And then there's also not posting the list on the internet like you were supposed to.
Jesus, I never not do anything I say I'm going to do. I just procrastinate, like a lot. And why would I not do my slaying of Digibro for the second time right and rust that shit. When I have all the time in the world to make it right.
You see, they're not gonna get this quote
They
because
will in a second when I fucking play it. Here we go.
It's not an understatement to say that I would die for Stewart, simply because that would be too easy. It would end what we have too quickly. And so for that, I live for Stewart. But why then? Why would I live for a man who didn't even talk to me for the first 4 months of me being in this troop? It wasn't until 2015 Pancake Breakfast that we actually spoke to one another. It wasn't until then that I felt boredom for the last time. It was all only because of Samuel and him leaving me, as he always does. Only this time when he left me with Stewart. And what happened next can only be described as fate, something I used to think of as evil, predetermined, not by some higher power, but by the rules of human nature. But that changed when he professed his hate of the amazing Spider-Man movies and love for the Man of Steel. I knew then that my entire life had been building towards this one moment. I realized that all the boredom, the uninteresting conversations, the bad arguments, it was all the hand of fate at work. And thanks to it, I had met my immovable object, my little push into madness. As the following weeks led to the release of the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice IMAX trailer, we began to talk about all the horrible injustices of this world. Most notably, we talked about all the talentless hacks at Camporee who called themselves skit creators, despite their product not being pure. Sure, we had seen bad movies before and heard bad music, but there's nothing on earth more horrific or cruel than having to sit through a bad skit. And we didn't just experience one. We survived a whole campfire. But we were never the same. Bad skits, they change who you are. Your values, your beliefs, your moral limits. All it takes is one bad skit to reduce the sanest man to lunacy. And that's exactly what happened. That's how far the world is from where Stewart and I am. Just one bad skit. But even from the worst things imaginable can come the best. Just as peace can come from war and life from death. Rainbow Lantern was born out of the rape of our senses. As we sat there cynically bashing the foolish attempts at entertainment made by the jesters illuminated by the light of fire, Stewart and I slowly pieced together a truly brilliant idea. That come summer camp later, that year, we'd do a skit of our own, where Stewart would play a flamboyantly gay superhero named the Rainbow Lantern, and I'd play a drunk Mexican superhero with a soccer ball for a helmet named Captain Mexico. Thus proving skits are still good, or at least when they're done by the two of us. Unfortunately, Stewart went to another summer camp the week before our troops, where what only could be described as hell awaited him. It would be there that Stewart experienced his blackest night, and yes, his blackest face. In only 4 days, he became black, started a gang, and was detained by the authorities for starting a war with the Chinese over propane. Though no man has ever been through more and come out stronger than ever as a result. The whole point of this summer camp was to make a movie, and so that's what he did. Despite a poor substitute for me as a director, the staff still upset about his gang war, a mostly horrible cast, in only 8 hours, he somehow managed to make a movie. He made a barely good short film named Black Dynamite vs. Jackie Chan, only let his ego cloud his judgment, and out of some misplaced sense of self-righteousness, he founded Bruce Way, which went up in a bigger ball of flames than the Challenger. Another plague set in motion by the Bruce Way debauchery was the cancellation of our precious skit. Stewart believed having a Mexican hero fighting a gay hero was too good to be wasted on a campfire. Stewart said it should be a movie instead, where he'd play Batman and Mongolian Man, rather than Rainbow Lantern. So you can see where his head was. Regardless, this now meant we had a ton of free time on our hands at our troop summer camp. So much so, Stewart and I built a hammock in the trees, enough to support 5 people, but for the sake of comfort, we only allowed 3. Stewart, Samuel, and I. 3 guys, 1 hammock. That night, we became hammock wives, a bond that can never be broken. So that, of course, incited envious rage amongst the others. It was then that Zach became the infamous terrorist known as ZA-KKK a la Mussolini. It was then that he King Konged his way to the top to fight us. Luckily, he was no match for Stewart and I. Unfortunately, once he was defeated, Stewart said, "Let's keep the chaos going. Let's shove Jesus down the hole." And after all we've been through, after the magical one-night stand we had, he was now using ZA-KKK a la Mussolini as a human plunger to drop me 6 feet. Which he did, right before he threw him off, like Vader did the Emperor, and screamed there can only be one. Which wasn't even true, because Samuel was still sleeping. Regardless, though, the only justice in a cruel world like our own is eye for an eye. Stewart dropped us, so we dropped his hopes and dreams. We showed him true despair. When he was wood carving himself a batarang, we did what was fair and snapped it in half. And like the man of honor Stewart is, he respected us for it. From then on, we were all American heathens for life. However, I wish I could say all American heathens like us could remain incorruptible forever. But no one stays good in this world. You either die single with vision intact, or live long enough to see yourself lose sight of what really matters. For what felt like an eternity, but was really just a semester, Stewart dated a girl who I warned him was psychotic, but he ignorantly claimed. That's a 3-syllable word for any thought too big for little minds. In the end, that 5-foot parallax might have driven us apart. I never feared losing Stewart. I always knew that sad sack of hormones would come crawling back to me. Whether he admits to it or not, he needs me, and I need him. I had and always will stand with him until the end of the line. And thank God, the end of her line came this January, when Stewart cast their relationship into the fiery depths of the sun. Because the punishment for trying to tie Stewart down is, that's right, death by fire. Even though he knew it meant the complete disintegration of his heart, Stewart always knew, like the great Frank Sinatra before him, he had to jump on a big bird and fly. Now, with one so wild and free as he, many thought that would be the last they saw of Stewart. They thought he would go to a cafe in Florence with Daniela and wait for me to acknowledge his existence. But I know better, and I always know better. The world is too small for a man like Stewart Keller to simply disappear. No matter how deep he chooses to sink, Stewart is a phoenix. Time after time, mistake after mistake, he will always rise and find his way back to me. Only this time when he came to me with an old idea for a new day. An idea Stewart had the night we lied together as hammock wives. The idea that we would start a podcast after we made our movie. I told him giving up halfway is worse than never trying at all. Come on, get up, write it. To which he replied, I never give up. I just procrastinate. Like a lot. So let's procrastinate on this movie for a while. We have the rest of our lives together to make things right. So for now, let's make sweet, beautiful podcasts. And so we did, 3 nights in a row in the same night. 3 times in a row in the same night. And like any dynamic duo, we have continued to recapture the same flawless level of excitement that we did our first time. Every Friday night since we started in February, each episode has been a gift unto the world. For absolutely nothing, you can hear us be empirically correct about anything and everything. We allow nothing to stand in our way as we tackle pop culture, society, religion, politics, ethics, and so much more. Daniela and Stewart's staff are the greatest witnesses of this, as they have seen us ascend into the beautiful light that is the internet. Have we gained 28 subscribers, or has Stewart just repeatedly subscribed? Have we really been seen by 1,500 people, or has that just been me rewatching ourselves verbally fence? All we know for sure is that we can continue our prophetic journey because of California Prank Code sponsoring us, and the great community patronizing us on Patreon. We live our dream because of you. It is our destiny to stand together, never compromising, even in the face of Armageddon. We will never face adversity alone. Stewart and I are too over the top and abrasive not to piss people off. But if I have learned anything in life, it's that it doesn't matter who you anger or who you cast out. Life is about those who make you happy, and in turn, take you in and make your life worth living. Stewart is the one who makes me happy and takes me in. Therefore, I look past the ancient moments of silence and live for him anyways. Just as you did with me, you will soon give the rest an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble, they will fall, but in time, they will join you in the sun's street. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
You sound like a jackass just snapping his fucking finger around.
You
I
say
can
that.
fucking snack my
Jesus,
finger
stop.
around
What
too.
are you doing?
How are you gonna know? Where's the snap, Stewart?
Jesus, just a couple seconds ago, the speech ended. The people have heard it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
What the fuck are you talking
We'll see in a
about?
couple days when this episode comes
Faith.
out and I listen to it.
Faith.
Or a couple weeks.
Faith, do you have it in me?
Yes.
Good. It was like, I can count all the people I have faith in on my hand. You're one of them. That faith should go both ways.
I can do it on like... If I lost 3 fingers, I could do the same.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Alright, so that's speech. That is my autobiography. Of you.
Of us.
Of us, yes.
It is the story of how we basically met.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
And
4 months of complete silence and bullshit.
Yeah. But I mean, that's exactly what this movie is. We don't see him at birth.
That's like, alright, that's another thing. It's like, how much of this time, how much of what you made in that autobiography of us would actually go into a story of our lives 20 years from now if we ever do that?
What are you talking about?
Like, how much relevant shit is happening now that would go into a movie about us and how we made the moral limits if we were to make a movie, a documentary about us?
Oh, fuck, dude, we could totally do it. And I want to do it. I've had this idea for a while, doing like a pop star mockumentary.
That'd be really cool.
Because, I mean, if we have like interviews from Benji, Daniela, Zachary, Z-A-K-K a la Mussolé, as we said in the speech.
This is the infamous terrorist, Z-A-K-K
a
a
la
la Mussolé.
And
Bless his
Rob
poor
Copter.
young soul.
Just like, if we had all those people giving like
Oh my god,
testimonies.
Rob Copter.
And of course, it's a mockumentary, so I'd write all their testimonies.
From like using their voices as like a lens, though.
Yeah.
Of course.
But I mean, I think
Like, or like
that
first,
speech
first,
could be turned into a movie.
I could see that.
Because
Like the beginning 4 months would be you know, a montage type thing.
yep, a Zack Snyder, like Hans Zimmer score beginning.
Right, and something along the lines of Spider-Man 2 beginning, you know, with previous movie things going on.
Yep.
Something along those lines, you know, get all the information out there, the stupid stuff we did when we didn't know each other. The fact that I multiple times almost dropped out of Boy Scouts because it was so insufferable. God. Boring. Nothing happened.
Again, before you joined Boy Scouts, I barely went to the meetings.
I noticed that. I had only seen you like one time before I met you.
Exactly.
And I barely saw you there because you left early because of reasons I won't personally disclose.
Yeah.
That's all on you. Point is, you left early. I had barely seen you.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Samuel, snap. There's a speech. Leaving as he always does.
Wait, are you trying to snap back to the speech?
No, I'm snap. I was my snap because that's also in the speech. How Samuel left. As he
Yeah, but
always
we're not
does.
cutting to the specific parts of the speech that we're talking about.
Fuck you.
We played it once earlier.
The entire speech?
Yeah, the entire speech.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Alright, Samuel. Well, then they already know that Samuel left.
Yeah, they know
as he always
this.
says. Fuck
God,
you.
What are you fucking doing with your fingers? I'm the Christopher Nolan of this goddamn podcast. Let's keep it that way.
Oh. It won't be a visual thing though, right?
No, fuck no. It is just the sweet audio of your voice.
And whatever
My fucking words.
whatever thumbnail you make for that occasion.
Dude, I'm gonna take the fucking picture of you and Zach up there. I'm And I'll take a fucking picture of me sitting up there smiling. You're fucking sweet.
I want to talk about Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul is good, but the story busted. Like
But,
autobiographies. What would you want to take and make an autobiography out of? Like, would you want to make an autobiography out of your life? Of all the things you intend to do with your life, let's say you're down the road.
Well, I don't know if it'd be as interesting as like Wolf of Wall Street. It's like, what do I want to do with my? I want to be a movie critic. Where's the tension?
Other people, like,
I'm not as interesting as Steve Jobs or Wolf of Wall Street.
you're funny, dude. Like,
I tend to agree.
don't fucking be bashful now.
No, that's hashtag humble brag. Oh my god, I think that's my favorite hashtag of all time. It's just the funniest shit ever. Because it started out as satire, and now it's like a legit fucking thing.
I know.
It's amazing. Oh
But my point
the internet's
being
such a stupid place.
Is, like you said, with Kaon, is the stakes don't always need to be up there with Steve Jobs and Jordan Belfort.
I agree.
It just needs to be fucking interesting.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. So, the
I wonder
question is,
what kind of, like, I wonder what hardships I will go through in life. Not many, I hope. Or many.
I mean, look
for
how
the
many
sake-
hardships were in my speech.
Oh my god, yeah.
Every
Milan.
Bruce Way.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that. How many shirts did we end up buying for nothing?
It was given to us.
Oh, thank god.
And
I still gave you money for mine.
we did. And so did the others that bought shirts.
Oh,
We sold.
good for them.
Yeah, sold 7 out of 20.
Yeah, 20 that we got for free.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's
it
profit.
don't matter.
Exactly.
It's all money.
Exactly. And that Mexican Terminator has never claimed his money, so
Really?
yeah, fuck him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Your autobiography is. Do you think you could take any period of your life right now and make that into something?
Well, like, all the hardships I'm going to go through in the next year are just me trying to get through IB and not fucking fail. So, I don't know.
No,
No.
we're talking like right now. Look back 17 and a half years.
It's more than 17. I'm going to be 18 in 2 months.
Like, this episode is the moral limits of us. Let's dive into our fucking...
The moral limits of us.
Yes. Our inner psyche, dude. Let's get personal. What
Okay.
part of your life would be the most... Best word for it is compelling.
It is the making of the moral limits. The rise of the moral limits. It has to be.
So, what my fucking speech was about.
Yeah, because, like, I could make a movie about another part of my life, but, like, it's not going to be... Like, I'm going to be... It's a disservice is what it is. Because I'm not making the best story I could possibly make, and why would you do that? Why would you make something if you can make something better than that something?
True. You know what we should do? After we do the Rainbow Lantern? Or before, or during, whatever. We make a movie about that period. And here's the thing. Have you seen?
Can we
Casino?
have Jonah Hill play me?
Yes. Just like
I think you
Matthew,
do a good job.
just because Matthew McConaughey is going to play Sinji,
Yes.
Jonah Hill will play you.
Jonah Hill
But no,
play-
Jonah Hill is the white you. Like, seriously.
Like, I don't see it all that much, but like I have faith that you can prove it to me. So please
Okay.
go ahead.
Well, he's got the curly hair.
Yeah, that he does.
He's not anorexic like me.
I'm not ashamed of the way I look. We're both overweight. Yeah,
But there you go.
that's. You know how many curly-haired, overweight people there are in this world? I can
None
name
as entertaining as you
I
and
can-
Jonah Hill.
fair. Well, Yeah, I can
And
see
you
that.
both have the
But like
feminine.
femininity.
No, feminine. And I was gonna tack on another word. Feminine, like just argumentative personality.
I want to call myself feminine, but well, fuck you.
Stewart, it's hot, and the
Chair
chair
is leather.
Is that masculine?
It's all for the sake of comedy. Comedy is all about making people. Comedy is about putting people down.
Yep.
The best jokes put people down.
Yep.
If someone is brought down by a joke.
Yep.
No matter what. In that moment, I was making a joke, and I was the one being brought down.
You know what my favorite bring down to someone was?
What?
Jake, when he asked me where the fucking speech was, and I said it was in the same place as his razors. Because that motherfucker
Yeah, he
had
didn't
shaving days, dude. Stubble was everywhere, and for the rest of the day, he fucking felt his face like, oh shit, there's stubble.
Yeah, it was very apparent.
Yes.
I do that sometimes too. But like,
Only to
I
those
just-
who deserve it.
like, all right, like, I forget, like, is it? I grow hair way too fast, facial, I mean,
Same.
and well, actually, my head up here too, but I don't know what's Jake's excuse.
What is Jake's excuse for anything?
I don't know.
He would be not the antagonist. He doesn't deserve something that important.
Who is the antagonist in our lives? Because as you said, there's no
Blonde.
antagonist. But no, she's gone too soon.
She was the fucking parallax, dude. All hope is lost.
The
moment.
5-foot parallax. This is true, but if your antagonist is eliminated from the story, like 2/3 in, at the beginning of the,
What are you talking about? No,
she's gone.
our story begins with the 4-minute montage. I mean, the 4-month montage,
Yeah, which could be 4 minutes for.
which she is not introduced until the last act.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
No. Well,
There's so much shit in between.
okay. So if it's 3 hours long, like Wolf of Wall Street,
right.
she would not show up until the last hour. And you know who else didn't do that? Leonardo DiCaprio and fucking Django Unchained, basically.
True.
Yeah, and that's what it would be like.
But like Leo is in the rest of the movie after that. There's still more of the movie after Milan.
Sure, it's a fucking recovery. And again, the middle half, that's where we fucking deal with the summer dude. It is the rise. I mean, we introduce our fucking skit, and that shit rises, right?
Right.
And then it fucking gets brought down by the second act villain, which is the Mexican Terminator, who fucking bails.
True. You have a long-standing history of people planning to make movies with you and nothing being,
Exactly.
made of it.
To us.
Even after us or
What are you
during us. I mean, look. How many movies have you tried to make? You have tried to make. What was it? Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Pirates versus Knights.
Pirates
and
versus
these aren't
Knights.
these are not full length movies. They're just like shorts videos.
Right, of course. And then there's a video about meat dying that
Yes.
never got off the floor.
Yes.
Like you have tons of ideas and none of them are going anywhere because
Dude.
everyone you work with is a talentless hack.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you working with people who don't know their shit?
Well, obviously I'm not working with them. You throw shit at the wall and hope it sticks.
Like a midget at a dartboard.
Exactly, like in the Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
Think about all the people
The
you
movie
meet,
we're supposed to be talking about.
all the people you ever say hi to.
Yeah, it's an extensive list.
Well, how many of them become friends?
25% at most.
How many become best friends?
I've already explained that. I think that term is stupid. Like, I don't think of my friends on like a comparative list. It doesn't fucking matter. You're all just my friends.
Is Ben a friend?
Yeah.
Am I better than Ben?
You are a better person than Ben. I don't think you're a better friend than Ben because friends, they're fucking intangible. unquantifiable things.
If you are
What
saying
defines a
Jesus
friend?
Jesus Christ, are you telling me that something is not comparative? Are you going against the law of comparativity? Because I will fight you.
It's intangible, is what I'm saying. How can you rate something that doesn't, like, it... Can you rate love comparatively?
Yes, I love this mug more than I love that cup. There you go.
But what... You're like, alright, if you love everything, then, like,
It's
what you're
comparative.
denouncing...
It's comparative.
Yeah, but you're denouncing the word. Like, you're making it mean less. If you love this
We've
chair,
already
and you love
discussed
this
in the
mug...
last episode that words do not mean anything.
Right, but you put power behind words, and the more you use a word, the more saturated it becomes.
But Jesus, you only give the word as much power as you want to, because words don't mean shit. What does mean shit is comparativity. And the moment that you go against comparativity is the moment that the world falls apart, dude. Comparativity is the only thing
Some
that matters.
men just want to see the world fall apart, Stewart.
Those men that are assholes. I respect them for it. But here's the thing. Comparativity is the most important thing ever. Everything you do revolves around comparativity. Or you don't go left or you don't go right. Well, comparatively, the left is better, so you don't go to the left. But the left
Right, but
fucking
the
sucks
right,
because...
the right is
fucking,
the road less traveled.
Hey, Jesus. The left stands for Democrats, so you fucking go right.
Oh my god. I didn't think you would take it there.
It's fucking politics, of course I brought it there. But here, everything is comparative, Jesus. Is it not?
Alright, wait, I want to denounce this claim that we hate Democrats. Democrats aren't all bad.
What do you mean?
Alright, think of it this way. The majority of the people I know are Democrats.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot of good people.
Absolutely.
So the majority of the good people I know are Democrats. Sure, the best person I've ever met is a Republican. But, like,
You met
Frank
Ronald
Sinatra...
Reagan?
Huh?
You met Ronald Reagan? Jesus, half the
No,
people...
man, Abraham Lincoln.
I would say 75% of the people we worship in Hollywood are hardcore liberals who hate guns, don't want a wall, and also hate Trump. We loved Will Smith in Suicide Squad, yet he completely hates Trump and called his supporters psychotic.
Ah.
So I know exactly what you mean.
So, like, look, you're not a bad person for being of either political party.
I hate the democratic ideals and goals.
I wouldn't even say that. Like, I don't hate their goals. Because, like...
The goal of taking my gun away, which I do not own yet, but taking away the right that I have to own a gun, that I hate. I do not hate someone for supporting that. It just means they're wrong, and they have yet to be persuaded. You can't hate someone for being wrong. You can, but it's not right. You should just
isn't that what we do to criminals? They do something wrong, so we hate
hurt
them.
someone.
Not always.
What criminal act are you speaking of then? Are we talking about murder?
Crime does not always hurt people.
Are you talking victimless crimes? Because
yeah.
Alright, what is a victimless crime to you, Jesus? And I'll prove to you who got hurt.
Jumping the border to bring it to politics. No one gets hurt.
If someone jumps in the border and starts living here, yes, it does hurt someone.
No, one person. One person.
Okay, you have not seen it, but Bug's Life has the best scene ever that ties right into this.
Okay.
So there is this giant jar of shit. There's a bunch of little fucking things inside this jar, right? And they're fucking little bugs.
It's not shit.
Not shit. A bunch of little fucking things. And they're bugs, right? So he opens it up, and let's say it's the size of a walnut. And it hits a fucking grasshopper, right? Bounces right off. Doesn't hurt, right?
If a walnut hits a grasshopper, that grasshopper's fucking dead.
Something that size, you know? It bounces off. Whatever. It's a little thing.
Like a marble.
Okay, imagine if a basketball fucking hits you in the chest. Okay. One basketball.
It's not gonna go pop. It's gonna hurt, but like yeah.
No, it's gonna bounce off. Jesus.
Okay, I see that.
It's gonna hurt maybe, but whatever. It's fine. Open it up. 3 more come out. You open it up, 5 more come out.
Okay.
And then you fucking take off the cap. You're
Right.
fucked.
But that's not the point I'm making. I'm not going off of the crime itself. I'm saying that the act of a single crime being committed can be victimless.
Fuck you. Let's go to Milan. Or Mulan.
You mean, wait, which Milan are we talking about? Are we talking Milan?
Disney's Mulan.
Okay.
Which is the smallest grain of rice can tip the scale. What if we are on a fucking scale, dude, and one person hops the border, it just fucking tips the scale. Fucking chaos.
You're creating a what if situation.
You're creating a what if situation. You say,
no, because that's
what if it's one person?
Like that happens. One person can jump the border.
And then what, Jesus? You're basically putting.
We're analyzing that one person and that one act. We're not analyzing the entirety of immigration itself. We did that last time.
Jesus,
we're not doing that right now. We're talking about this single act. If I look at,
you can't make an argument without defining it.
If I look at a single murder, I can do that. I don't have to look at all murder cases of all time ever.
Okay, no.
I don't have to look at every.
Logic, dude, that's logic, and you have to use logic in arguments. If you're going to do a math equation, you can't just fucking write a number. You have to write a couple numbers.
I don't need thousands upon thousands of murder cases to solve one murder.
You can. It's something that you should always process. When you watch a movie.
Okay, that's a bad example.
When you hold on.
Here, wait. Let me finish.
Wait.
Because that's not a good analogy.
When you watch a movie,
when you
process it against all other movies, correct?
Right. Fair enough.
Okay.
But wait, when you have that murder happen, right? Yes. You don't look at all other potential murderers.
Yeah.
You don't do that. Maybe you look at murders that have already happened, like you would look at people who are already, illegal immigrants here, but you wouldn't look at people in Mexico who haven't broken the law yet. You wouldn't do that. Just like you wouldn't look at murderers that haven't happened yet. Or will maybe never happen.
It's a very interesting thing that people process. Like Minority Report. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Neither have I. The idea behind it is that you take all of basically future crime. So you calculate the probability.
Oh my god. You know what this is?
What?
This is fucking Psychopaths.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
No. Fuck you. I want to talk about Psychopaths. So the idea is that in the future, in Japan exclusively, have created a system called the civil system.
Yep.
And in this system, 99% of humanity is given the perfect job for them.
Yep.
Like, they will never be happier if they do not take the job. As well as giving them the perfect relationship advice. They will never be happier than when they are with this person.
Yeah.
Right? It can do all of these amazing things. And it can regulate basically everything. What it can also do is tell you your psychopaths, which is essentially your crime rate. Like how likely you are to have a crime or commit a crime.
Yeah.
And it varies on your stress levels. You can tip over the scales, you tip into yellow, red, there's numbers involved. Point is, if you are in the yellow, they have these weapons called dominators, which will paralyze you upon shooting you. And these dominators can only be used by someone in the system in the civil system.
Yeah.
And within their police force.
Yeah.
They can't be used by anyone else. Unless you're the actual civil system. Yeah. But no spoilers. Point is, it will stun you. Yeah. And if you reach a certain tipping point, which is like the red zone,
yeah.
it will kill you. It will make you literally explode. No way you survive that. Absolutely slaughtered. So that is what you're saying, right? Potential. Basically, they have the potential to become. Very interesting concept, and I do think, in the case of the civil system, I would want to be born into that world.
Because, so if you have, let's say it's in one extreme, which is you already have a murder, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to stop it before another murder happens?
Yeah.
Because let's say by logic, if it happened once, will it happen again?
It's always easier to do something after the first time.
Yeah. So,
Every time.
which means the probability goes up. Which means you could theoretically stop another murder by happening by stopping him.
Right.
There you go. I mean, that's the entire reason why we have our legal system now, is to stop.
So are you saying that? Well, I don't understand how it's relevant. If you understand that he did something wrong, then you catch him and you stop him from doing it ever again.
Yes, but why wouldn't you stop that before it happens?
Oh, okay. I see what you get now.
You said you would, after the first time, stop it from happening the second time. That's the point of our legal system. Why wouldn't you stop it from happening the first time so no one gets hurt?
No, but there has to be suspicion. You can't look into every single person's private life and see what they're. Although the civil system does pretty much do that. Although the civil system has no real, according to it, it is unbiased and it also has no real like. I can't say much about it, but it's essentially the perfect system that is an AI is what is passes itself off as.
But we're getting really off track, which came from you don't hate Democrats.
Right, and we don't.
Yeah, which, look, but just because someone is a Democrat does not mean you hate them.
I also agree with that claim.
But would you say you hate SAO fans?
I hate bad SAO fans.
Exactly, but you have, as a general statement, would you say you hate them?
No. Like, I will say I hate SAO. SAO is just garbage tier. It really is just the lowest of the
You're
low.
walking into it, dude. That's what I'm saying.
What?
Was the ideas of Democrats. The idea of those SAO fans is that show. So the idea of taking away the right to have a gun is SAO. Now you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're.
Well, there you go.
I see some of what you're saying, but like,
what are you saying, Jesus?
Those are two different things, though. Like, all right, when it comes to taking away the gun, I see somewhat where they stand. Because all right, because like, if there are less guns,
false. I've heard this before, but go on.
Okay, if there are less guns, or no, let's go the other extreme. If they pretty much unban everything and everyone has a gun, right? Your argument is use the money to teach people how to use those guns. Make sure they know how.
That's part of it, yep.
But, like, that's wishful thinking.
No.
People don't...
Okay, so the Democrats' idea is you take rid of all guns, you get rid of all gun crime.
In essence, that's not inherently true.
That's the idea.
All right, I understand where the logic comes from, though, because
there is no logic.
Petty crime and, like, smaller crime, areas will have...
All right, let's go to Chicago, where they completely outlawed guns.
Okay.
They have the highest rate of gun crime. How does that happen? Because criminals do not listen to the law, and criminals will get guns either way.
Right, but it's like, all right, you know that whole thing about making bathrooms gender neutral?
Yes.
You are presenting an opportunity to someone who would abuse that, right?
Yeah.
And that's bad because, look, if you see a guy walk into the women's restroom, something's up.
Yeah.
He's not going to be doing good things, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Of course, there's exceptions.
Yeah. But
generally speaking, not a lot of good's going to come from it. Now, if you see a guy walk into a gender-neutral restroom, no one bats an eye. He gets away with a lot more and has a lot more time to do what he wants to do before anyone catches him, if he ever gets caught.
The smart thing to do with that is you have a men's room, a women's room, and a mixed room, which they've had for fucking years. It's called the handicap. And it has a picture of a family on it because anyone could go in there.
Those aren't for multiple people, though. I've never seen one for more than just one person.
It doesn't matter. Wait for it.
That's not the idea, though. The idea of a neutral restroom is that it's for everyone, for a large group.
Then fucking make one that's bigger. My point is have one for all three. But here's the thing: the government should not say, Target, you have to accommodate all these people. or else you cannot stay in business because you are being biased or whatever.
Right.
'Cause that's fucked up. That's what they should do. We're talking about guns. The idea that outlawing guns and taking the rights from citizens who have not done anything, it was going to lead to some sort of lowerment in crime does not work. It didn't work in Chicago, it didn't work in New York, and it sure as hell didn't work in Australia. Now, you could say, well, Chicago did it, but that doesn't mean that, well, it's also Illinois, so that's the state level, but that doesn't mean that people can't get a gun from Texas and take it over to Illinois. Well, even in Australia, where it's countrywide,
right,
exactly, there is no logic. You can't say you see where they're coming from because they aren't coming from anywhere sound of logic.
No, like it. All right, in the you're presenting an opportunity that doesn't need to be there.
Jesus, here's the thing. If guns are bad because they can kill people, then
I'm not saying guns are bad because they can kill people.
Then spoons are bad because they can
it makes it easier.
Well, spoons make it easier for people to get fat.
Are you saying we should outlaw spoons?
If we're gonna outlaw guns, yes. That's my point. It's so fucking retarded. I can't even understand where they're coming from because it doesn't make sense. Tell me where
a gun does logically make it easier to kill a person. That is true.
I could kill you with a pencil. I could kill you with a spoon.
Right, but not as easily. That is inherent. That is absolutely true. It's not.
It's comparative.
It's not up to debate, though.
It's comparative.
A gun, I could kill you easier with a gun than I could a knife.
Look,
than I could with a shovel. Than I could with a
that's
towel.
not true. So
it is true.
Hold on. Someone goes out in the middle of a plaza and starts opening fire, right? Well, it's gonna make noise, and he's gonna get stopped pretty quickly. But what if someone takes a knife and they slowly go through a neighborhood killing people? They will
People are gonna notice.
Well, no, it's at night.
And then there's silencers. Those exist.
But the point is, you could still. It's all about creativity, dude. People could still find other ways to kill people. And the fact is,
right,
Jesus,
but it still makes it easier.
Jesus, the simplest thing though. It doesn't matter how fucking easy it is. They will still get it. The criminals, the bad people, the people who are going to kill people will always get those guns. And it's been proven. And you know where these high rates, sure, they happen in Texas. But you know where the high rates aren't? Texas.
I'll do a lot of research after this podcast.
Oh
because,
my God, Jesus!
How could there be that much crime? Gun, I mean, in a place that doesn't.
Because criminals will break the law. They will go on the black market and they will.
Right. I understand that, but like, there would be such little supply.
Jesus. Okay. Marijuana is getting legal. Is getting legal in a lot of areas, so that's not a good comparison anymore. But other drugs. There are drugs everywhere, and it's illegal. I'm talking cocaine, heroin. It's everywhere.
All right, actually, I think we can use marijuana as a good example.
Because it's partly legal.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fucking everywhere.
If it's illegal, in places that is illegal, it is illegal. Is it at the highest consumed rate? I don't think so.
I don't. Jesus, no.
You understand? Like, let's say California outlaws it, but Texas does not. Right?
Mm.
Does California still have a higher consumption rate of marijuana?
No. We're talking. We're not talking consumption. We're not talking about the people buying guns. We're talking about the.
We're talking about the people getting marijuana.
No. You're talking about people getting marijuana. We're not talking about people getting guns. We're talking about the gun violence.
Well, then there's no analogy.
There you go.
What the fuck does that prove?
The guns itself proves the guns itself, man.
That's circular reasoning. That's like saying, I am smart because I'm smart.
Well, aren't I?
It's circular reasoning. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
That's not logical. I can't prove The Dark Knight's the greatest movie of all time because it's the greatest movie of all time. I list reasons why it's so good. Heath Ledger's amazing. Christian Bale's amazing.
It's not just because Chicago
amazing.
It's not just because Chicago has the highest. New York also has the highest. Then you have Australia, who completely outlaws all of them, but it's still the gun violence happens.
Gun violence will happen forever.
But it's look. Well, then what the fuck are you trying to stop then? You're not stopping. All you're stopping is the good person who wants to go to the shooting range. You're not stopping the guy who's going to kill a person. So where's the logic in that, Jesus?
And assuming everything you're saying is true,
Which it is.
that is just to be proven. But
Holy
the point is,
holy fuck.
I
Faith, you said earlier you have it.
yes, I do. I do have faith in you.
So calm the fuck down.
But I can't go into everything blind. Where's the logic in that?
Of course, but you don't have to be so trepidatious.
Like you are not infallible, Stewart, and that's my point.
Of course. Of course.
You can be wrong, as much
Yeah.
as you hate to admit it.
I don't hate to admit it.
As much as, well, really.
Yeah.
That is yet to be seen on this podcast, and as we know, if it's not on the internet, it doesn't exist.
When you were right, Jesus, you're right.
Yeah.
Did I fucking cry and kick when you were fucking right about Elsa?
I guess not.
Well, there you go.
All right, I can see your point. I can see
So
your
it has
point.
happened on the internet, so fuck you.
Nobody can see you do these fucking middle fingers, Stewart.
That's why I said fuck you, which is what the middle fingers mean.
Right, but like, there's a certain comedic effect that doing this stuff.
I just,
Has
for
to
the audio listeners, I said fuck you. Which is
No,
what the
now
middle
you
finger
just got to
means.
put Homer Simpson doing this on the thumbnail.
I ain't got to do shit. My voice does it for me.
Fuck you. I want to see Homer Simpson doing this all over that fucking thumbnail. I want it to. I want his finger to be the fucking thumbnail.
You know where I want to see that? On a T-shirt made by California Print Co.
That is a really good idea.
It is. And you can go to them. You can call them. You can go to their website. Get a quote today for a top-of-the-line T-shirt made with your design on it. You can also get it on a hat with embroidery. You can get your embroidery done on the shirt.
Absolutely.
You can get shorts done. You can get hoodies done.
And
Beanies, polos.
the great thing about them truly is their attention to detail.
Yes.
The shirts are just, they're so much better than the other shit you buy at Hot Topic and
Or the shit you're wearing right now.
yeah, like, all right, well, the shit it's shit because it's faded and awful,
You know what doesn't fade?
but exactly.
California Print Co.
The design itself is not flawed.
It
But
is-
that is a debate for
It
a
is
whole
flawed.
other-
It
This
is
is not a
flawed.
visual podcast. They can't see this shirt.
Jesus is
Stuart.
wearing a blue shirt with blue characters and a blue ocean on it. Now
Stitch
visually,
is so much darker than this shirt.
visually that just pops. And you know who would tell you that it doesn't pop? California Print Co. Because they're smarter than you. So go with them.
They truly are geniuses when it comes to their craft.
Absolutely.
They have really mastered it, truly. No one can do it better. It's simple.
Good-hearted Republicans.
There's no need to add Republicans.
I
Hell,
mean,
that probably turned
hey,
away half of our
hey,
listening audience.
I don't know for sure, but you know how I know? It's because they're good.
I agree they are good people.
Exactly.
I
And
completely
there's
agree.
something about
But they're not good people because they're Republicans.
No, but
they're good
I
people
can
because
sense
they
it, I
are
can feel it.
sensible, smart
feel it,
individuals
Jesus.
that know how to make a quality t-shirt.
I think our Republican listeners right now are like, hot damn, I gotta get a T-shirt from California Print Co.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's good for them. They truly have learned much from our 35 episodes of this podcast.
This is
36, including this one.
Oh, yeah.
But as this episode is not being included, they cannot have learned everything from
But
it.
here's the thing. I think what we need to hone in on is gun control. Does the idea of outlawing guns make sense to you?
I do not think we should outlaw guns because it doesn't make sense to me.
There you go.
But my point was never that I agree with what they have
Okay,
to
that's
say.
what you gotta hold on.
just
You just gotta.
understand why they would think the way they
We'll
do.
get there. We'll
That's
get there.
that's the
We'll
whole.
get
That's
there.
how you win arguments. You must understand what they're going to say before they say it.
We'll get there. But
And
that's something
hear
you need
what
to
they-
make. That's something you need to make very clear on these things, because as right as you are, sometimes when you are empathetic and analyzing the other side, it sometimes appear, not only to me but also the audience, that you are taking their side.
I don't take their side. I don't agree with their side. I've already stated that enough times. I don't think we should outlaw guns. I think guns are a necessary thing because they help. They hurt, but they also help.
Hammer
They are
hurts.
tools more than anything else.
Yeah.
I don't think they're anything besides
Hammers
that.
hurt like
They
a
are a tool
motherfucker.
for protection. That is what they are designed for. Maybe not everyone designs them that way. That's the way I would design one, and that's the way I would buy one, for the intent of protecting people I care about and
Like my
myself.
opinion, going into a movie, guns are completely neutral. They're not for protection.
Tools are neutral. Tools they can be used for bad, and they can be used for good. But they are intended for
good. It's all
good.
comparative, dude. And
They are intended for good, though. Much like a movie is intended to be good.
You don't know that. There's nothing. There's no absolutes. You can't fucking say
I
absolutes.
completely agree. There's no absolutes in this world.
Yeah, so then don't fucking say that. Because a hammer.
No, but
can-
like
I could
if I
kill
go
you-
my
I could
if
kill
there
you
are
with a
no
hammer.
absolutes, then everything is an absolute. Because like
It is an absolute that there are.
I
no
don't know for a
absolutes.
fact that 17 years ago, I wasn't born in an orphanage, and then my entire life has just been one
Exactly.
implanted memory of me growing
Because
up with a Mexican
Jesus-
family.
Words,
I don't know that.
Words are bullshit, and we discussed this on last week's episode.
Words are not inherently anything. I believe that is around what we said.
Exactly. Just like God is as bad as the devil.
You really like saying that.
Because it pops, Jesus. It gets people going.
Gets people going in the opposite direction of this podcast. is what it
False. How many supporters does Trump have? And how many crazy things has he said? He's right, but if you just take that one little snippet about the murders and rapists,
does. He doesn't say. All right, like not everything he says he's right about.
of course, no one's absolutely all right all the time, even myself.
I look. Here's my thing with Trump, because I completely agree with his political views.
Yeah.
I think, well, for the most part.
Yeah, of course.
But I do think he has said some really out there stuff.
So have I.
Absolutely. For the sake of publicity, sure, but like
and
it's really out. Like I've heard this so many times. If Trump didn't say all the things he said about Mexicans, I would have voted for him.
There's no way he would.
I've heard
There's
that
no
before.
way he'd be winning if he hadn't said those things.
Does that make it right,
There's-
though? It's the real question. It
But
doesn't.
he
It
is.
doesn't make
He, what?
No, does that make him morally right?
Okay.
For saying things-
his statement about the Mexicans was correct.
They do not. No, they don't send their murderers.
No.
Here.
He was not saying.
That's what he's. That's the line. They send
it is
the
a-
worst of them, murderers and rapists. That's what he said.
Okay. Some of the cross the border are murders and rapists.
But they're not all. And majority.
He
I
didn't
wouldn't
say.
even
He
say
didn't say
I didn't-
all. He never said all.
But he did say they do send them, and they don't. They don't purposefully
No,
send.
he didn't say.
people.
He didn't say.
He
that-
said. He said they,
he-
as in Mexico
No.
is sending.
Okay, so if you analyze the quote, if you look at it, just like he said it, and just like most people take it, it's offensive, correct? It's out there. Just like me saying God is as bad as the devil is out there and offensive, correct?
Right.
It is the same goddamn thing. But it's not like Trump said there is a council of Mexican government officials hand-picking, hand-selecting all the worst of the worst, the Suicide Squad of fucking rapists and murderers of
Don't say
Mexicans.
Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is not all bad.
It's the worst of the worst, is the point. And
yeah,
then-
right? Slipknot, the guy who can climb anything.
Yes.
That poor soul.
Dude, he could fucking
Worst of
climb
the
anything
worst.
to murder and rape them. The point is, they are not doing that, and he did not say they were doing that. It would be true to say that they, as in the word the country,
Mm-hmm.
have sent over that. They have contributed.
I wouldn't say that.
They didn't purposely send it. It's misinterpreted.
They didn't. Mexico didn't. An
America-
individual. Look,
America has sent murderers and rapists to other countries too.
All right. It is not the society
We're not saying it's
that
a
makes
society.
the people do the things that they do. It is the people that make the things do that they do. what they do. And for that reason, I cannot say they send the worst of them here. Because it's not true. Mexico doesn't send the worst of them. It is the person sending the worst of themselves to this country.
Let's say there's a bucket of water.
Right.
And there's a dam.
Right.
Dam breaks, and let's say this side of the bucket of water has some fucking shit in it, right? Straw wrapper, candy wrapper.
Right.
And it comes over. That side sent it over. Now, it was not a malicious intent or planned for those things to come over, but it was sent over. Just like, and it could be reversed.
Well, that's not a good analogy because there's no free will in that situation. It's just random fate.
It's random fate. But
immigration is not random fate. It's conscious decisions to do these things.
But you're talking about.
It's not random chance.
We're talking about millions of people. It could be reversed. We could absolutely flip the table and say that America has sent murderers and rapists to other places because of the same thing, immigration. That's absolutely true.
Back when Mexico owned like half of this country, we did send a lot of people.
Well, see, the Indians fucking owned everything.
And we quite literally sent the worst of us. Oh, man.
But we didn't personally do it. That's the fucking acts of the past.
Although in that case, you know, England did send the worst of them over consciously with the intent of taking whatever they could. So that is also a bad example because...
No, it's not. Look, England just wanted more. They wanted to fucking conquer.
And they would do anything to get more. I don't think that's the intent of anyone jumping the border.
But it wasn't all of them. There were explorers. There were people seeking religious freedom from persecution.
Not in the first wave, though. The first wave that took land...
But we're not talking about that, Jesus. The whole thing was that America, people immigrating from America, have sent over. People who have left America to go other places have been murderers and have been rapists. Just like people who have left Mexico.
So would you say that America sends the worst of them out of this country?
Sure. It's a logical statement. It's ugly, but it's logical. If you tell me that murder and a rapist have never come from Mexico, that's just fucking...
That's naive and
exactly.
delusional.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's not what he said.
That is what he said.
What he said is that they send... He's giving consciousness to Mexico. Is what is the problem with that quote. Mexico is not a conscious being. It is it's an idea.
It's a fucking country, and so is America. And
every country is an idea because they're just land.
They
don't mean anything.
Everything's an idea.
The borders don't exist.
Everything is an idea, so nothing is an idea.
Not everything's an idea. That lamp is an idea, but rocks are not an idea.
Yes,
they are a thing.
They are an idea.
The word is an idea, but the rock itself is not an idea. The rock existed far before even ideas existed. Maybe not that rock specifically, but the rocks themselves have existed.
So you're saying that God never had an idea before creating rocks. So either you tell me there is a flaw in the existence of God, or you tell me that rocks are an idea.
How can a person that knows everything have an idea?
God is an idea. Because God thought of himself.
No, he knows everything, though. So he already knew himself. Exactly. You can't have a thought if you already know. I can't.
God can do anything. We've already discussed this, which means he can have a thought.
Holy shit!
I know it's.
But
hard.
That's not.
It's hard being this right, Jesus.
Fuck you. That's not.
But hold on. But Trump.
That's not the point.
Hold on. Trump has said we got. We're closing.
Look, the problem
is concluding Jesus.
Yeah, I know, but the problem is he gave, he treated Mexico as if it had a conscious choice in the matter, and it does not. That's the problem with people.
No. The people are saying that to Trump, but Trump just said it. Am I saying that God is as bad as the devil? It's just as out there, but it's just as true. Like I said, America has sent the worst of the worst.
All right, look at it this
elsewhere.
way. If someone is watching right now and they hear you say that, without hearing why and or how you said it, are they wrong for interpreting what you said in their own way?
They are wrong.
They are wrong because you know why you said it, but you haven't made clear why you said it.
They had a knee-jerk reaction.
What if they gave it hours and hours of thought, but came up with a conclusion that wasn't necessarily within your own conclusions?
But then they're wrong.
That's not like it's not. That's
Do
not
your
inherently
do your
true.
research. I mean, think about it. Well, this episode ends here because Hillary Clinton deleted the last 20 minutes. Fortunately, we didn't actually finish our argument. There was no resolution, so we'll just continue the argument on next week's episode.